Good morning, everybody. So welcome to the live in-person and live Zoom worship service of the Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside. Our opening hymn this morning is Come, Come, Whoever You Are from the Gray Hymnal. Feel free to sing as the Spirit moves you. And if you can, stand in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are, which will also be projected.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come, come, whoever you are, condemned, worshipper, whoever you're leaving, God is the caravan of his living, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, whoever you are, condemned, worshipper, whoever you're leaving, ours is the caravan of his living. Come yet again, come.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you for joining us here in person, and thank you for joining us remotely by Zoom, where we will continue live streaming and posting these services on our YouTube channel for our virtual attendees. I'm Tinka Friend, a member of the worship committee, and I will be your worship associate today. Other members of the worship committee who make this service possible include Alec Peck, our music coordinator, Adam Wedeking, who monitors our visual and online connections, and Kate Lewicki, who is in charge of our sound system. So we welcome you here to join us this morning with an open mind and an open heart, and with muted electronic devices, please. So I'm going to take a moment right now for mine and urge you to do the same. So welcome to this morning, this day, and this opportunity to be together in community. Today's service is about love. Love is the center and the foundation of this faith. We have a saying, love is love. True love in any relationship makes us feel connected, protected, and free. True love is about connection, respect, and deep understanding of one another. It is about seeing each other's souls and honoring the divine within each other. Once again, we welcome you and are glad that you are here. Before we move into the service, there are a few announcements we would like to share. We will mention several websites, email addresses, and phone numbers. At the end of this service, we will leave up a slide with all of this information, and it is also available on our website. So, there's a bake sale after the service today, just in time for Valentine's Day. So treat yourself or someone special to something sweet, and all proceeds go to the church fund. Our lunch series continues, and please join us on Saturday, February 17th, which is next Saturday, correct? Right? At 1:30, it will be here at the church in the parish hall. We will continue our lunch series with the theme pasta dishes. There will be good food and good fellowship. Suggested donations are $25 per person or sweat equity, $12 for children ages 6 to 12, and free for ages 5 and under. This event is an advance purchase only, and all proceeds go to the church fund. So I'm going to ask if someone wants to buy tickets today, who do they see? Okay, so you're going to see Kate to give her the money or write a check for next week, next Saturday. So now I invite you to sit back, take a slow, deep breath as we move into the worship hour. Try and let go of all the tension, all those little things all week long that have just been getting under your skin, that you're confronted with, that you have to deal with. At least for this time, put it away, put it aside. You don't have to deal with it right now. And you are welcome to read with me our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to live in service to humankind and all life in fellowship. Thus do we covenant. So today's speaker is our own UUCR member, Laura Luna. And Laura was a foster child who was adopted into a family with an atheist mother and a Christian father. She graduated from UCR and became a teacher. She enjoys traveling the world, including Italy, the country of St. Valentine. She gave birth to a child with autism and has become a mystic spiritual thinker and free spirit. She is the current president, as of yesterday, of the Women's Federation and a member of the worship committee here at UUCR. So Valentine's Day was named after a Catholic priest who lived in the 3rd century in Rome. His name was Valentine, and he was a saint of the Catholic Church. He was sentenced to death on February 14th, 269 AD, for refusing to renounce his faith. Saint Valentine is associated around the world with the tradition of courtly love. We have 2 lightings of sacred flames. The first is the occupied Indigenous peoples' remembrance candle. The second is the lighting of our own chalice, the symbol of our faith. We walk upon the traditional territories of diverse and sovereign peoples, the original people of this land, who continue to cry out for justice and self-determination. This spot we occupy was first the sacred space of several groups of Indigenous peoples, including the Cahuilla, the Cupeño, and the Serrano. We, the Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside, light this sacred flame as the stewards of this sacred and holy place. We are blessed with a space and an opportunity to strive to live out our common principles, to bring justice, equity, and compassion into our daily lives, to resist all that threatens the earth and her people, and to be a part of a world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Let these thoughts carry us forth as we journey and worship together. Today's reading for the chalice lighting is Love Can Transform the World by Maureen Killeron. Love is the aspiration, the spirit that moves and inspires this faith we share. Rightly understood, love can nurture our spirits and transform the world. May the flame of this chalice honor and embody the power and the blessings of the love we need, the love we give, the love we are challenged always to remember and to share. We have a tradition here at our church to welcome those who are visitors or perhaps returning after some time away. We know that sometimes it's uncomfortable to stand up and speak in front of others, so I'm going to ask for a volunteer, someone who has been here a while, to tell us their name and how they found out about our church. We ask that person to step close to the mic and speak directly into it and speak clearly so that everyone can hear. However, do be aware that you will be visible on our Zoom camera and in the recording of this service, which is posted online. So, do we have any church members who would like to volunteer? Thank you, Dinah.
Good morning. My name is Dinah Rowe, and I'd just like to comment also. It's nice to see Bud and his wife Sharon here with us today. Welcome. Bill and I have been members of our church since 2004. We were prior to that at the Long Beach Church. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's how it's done. If you're new here, a visitor or an old friend, please raise your hand to stand and come up to the mic in front of the pulpit. If there was someone online who would like to introduce themselves, please raise your hand and we will call on you by Zoom. Please let us know who you are, where you're from, and how you found out about us. Adam, would it be possible, to take that microphone over in case Bill or Sharon want to say anything? Would you like to? Okay. All right. Hey, you want to come up? So introduce you by telling us your name, where you're from, and how you found out about us.
Hello, my name is Daniel Calderon. I'm from Riverside, and I found out because I drive a lot by here, so I see like the church and I see online stuff too. So that's how I found out.
Well, thank you. Welcome. We're glad you're here. And anyone else? And Adam, anyone online? Okay. All old timers, I guess. Well, for any other new guests, please join us for socializing and coffee hour after the service. And we would love to chat with you out in the parish hall, where you can also find our visitors book. Please leave your name before you leave so that we know you were here, and leave any contact information if you want us to know, if you want to know about upcoming events. For those online, the best way to get added to the mailing list is to email the church office at admin@uuchurchofriverside.org. And as I said earlier, don't forget, after church, we have the bake sale going. So now we come to another hymn, and our hymn is number 346, Come Sing a Song With Me. It's from Carolyn McDade. It is in the gray hymnal, or it will also be projected behind me. So please feel free to sing as the Spirit moves you. Stand in body or spirit and join us in singing 346, Come Sing a Song With Me.
Come sing a song with me, come sing a song with me, come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Please be seated. Thank you very much. This portion of our church is to support our beloved historical church. It can be accomplished several ways. In addition to the weekly collection, you may send your checks to the church address, which is shown here. You may contribute by PayPal using the QR code, which is shown here, as well as on the church website and in the newsletter. Stater Brothers gives our church a rebate on Stater grocery cards, which we have in church each Sunday. Amazon gift cards are also available. You'll get the full value, and the church also receives a percentage for free. Please see Dinah Rowe or Robert Brown in the church office. I was going there first, sorry. If you are interested in purchasing the gift cards. Please donate as the Spirit moves you by whatever method works best for you. And thank you for your generosity. As you can see, our congregation is a small congregation. This is a historical church which has a lot of upkeep. So please be as generous as you're able. And for all who have joined us here today, thank you for your gift, the gift of your presence. Will our ushers now please come forward to receive the collection? And a bag will also be passed around to collect any food or hygiene items that can be distributed to those in need. Thank you. Our next hymn is 402, From You I Receive. It's in the gray hymnal, but it's also will be projected behind me. Please feel free to sing as the Spirit moves you and stand in either body or spirit and join us in singing hymn 402, From You I Receive.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share from this we live. From you I receive.
Please be seated. And before we get to the sermon part of our service, we have meditation usually. And our meditation today is by Gary Kowalski. We give thanks for love, agape and eros, chocolates and pillow talk, all of Cupid's arrows, for unrequited yearning and the grand passion burning, for quiet appreciation and platonic contemplation. For lovers too, we give thanks, those gay and straight, near and dear, gender metamorphic or beautifully queer, for swooning adolescents and seniors in senescence who are the bloom in life's bouquet, the hearts and flowers of Valentine's Day. For all that makes our pulses run, heart rates quicken and keeps tickers ticking, we bless you, Lord, who made Eve with Adam and filled the world with both sirs and madams, for birds and bees and varieties of conjunction, we lift our voice in celebration. Now let us pause for a moment of silence and contemplation. And now I would like to bring Laura Luna up to the pulpit to speak to us on Saint Valentine, the patron saint of love.
Hello. Good morning. Thank you. Make sure I have it here first. Okay, thank you. Okay, today I will be talking about Saint Valentine, who was a true person, a human being who walked the earth and became a saint for the Catholic Church. Saint Valentine was a Catholic priest who also worked as a doctor. He lived in Italy during the 3rd century AD and served as a priest in Rome. Historians don't know much about Valentine's early life. They pick up Valentine's story after he began working as a priest. Valentine became famous for marrying couples who were in love but couldn't get legally married in Rome during the reign of Emperor Claudius II, who outlawed weddings. Claudius wanted to recruit lots of men to be soldiers in his army and thought that marriage would be an obstacle to recruiting new soldiers. He also wanted to prevent his existing soldiers from getting married because he thought that marriage would distract them from their work. When Emperor Claudius discovered that Valentine was performing secret weddings, he sent Valentine to jail. Valentine used his time in jail to continue to reach out to people with the love that he said Jesus Christ gave to him for others. He befriended his jailer, Asterius, who became so impressed with Valentine's wisdom that he asked Valentine, "Can you help my daughter, Julia, with her lessons?" Julia was blind and needed someone to read material for her to learn it. Valentine became friends with Julia through his work with her when she came to visit him in jail. Emperor Claudius also came to like Valentine. He offered to pardon Valentine and set him free if Valentine would agree to renounce his Christian faith and agree to worship other Roman gods. Not only did Valentine refuse to leave his faith, he also encouraged Emperor Claudius to place his trust in Jesus Christ. Valentine's faithful choices to stay with Jesus Christ cost him his life. Emperor Claudius was so enraged at Valentine's response that he sentenced Valentine to die. Valentine was beaten and beheaded when he died. Before he was killed, Valentine wrote a last note to encourage Julia to stay close to Jesus and to thank her for being his friend. He signed the note, "From your Valentine." That note inspired people to begin writing their own loving messages to people on Valentine's feast day, February 14th, which is celebrated on the same day on which Valentine was martyred. Yes, he died on February 14th, 270. He was beaten and stoned and beheaded. People who remembered his loving service to many young couples began celebrating his life, and he became to be regarded as a saint through whom God had worked to help people in miraculous ways. By 496, Pope Gelasius designated February 14th as Valentine's official feast day. The most famous miracle attributed to Saint Valentine involved the farewell note that he sent to Julia, who was blind. Believers say that God miraculously cured Julia of her blindness so that she could personally read Valentine's last note rather than just have someone else read it to her. Throughout the years since Valentine died, people have prayed for him to intercede for them before God about their romantic lives. Numerous couples have reported experiencing miraculous improvements in their relationships with boyfriends, girlfriends, spouses after praying to help from Saint Valentine.
So how many of us, I mean, we all know about Valentine's Day and giving little Valentine cards, but how many of us knew like where that exactly the history of it or who that person was or why they were declared a saint? I didn't. Thank you very much. So now we come to the end, and our closing hymn is number 1014, Standing on the Side of Love, from the Teal hymnal. Feel free to sing as the Spirit moves you. Stand in either body or spirit and join us in singing hymn 1014, Standing on the Side of Love.
The promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide, and so every soul is blessed in
Our benediction is Universal Rhythm by Israel Bufardi. My friends, when you go from here, know that our heart is always in a holy place, for we are always connected to one another. Know that deep down, our hearts beat in one universal rhythm. May we each find the sacred space to hear it. Namaste, amen, and blessed be. And thank you, Laura, for sharing your valuable time and your insights and that history with us, which I said, I don't think we knew. And it is appreciated, and we look forward to seeing you again. And for those who would like to stay in the sanctuary for 10 or 15 minutes for either questions or to share some discussion or observation from the service, please remain in the sanctuary or online. Just be aware that these comments will be recorded and posted online. For the rest of you, you are now welcome to adjourn to the parish hall. And is there anybody that wants to come up and share any thoughts on Valentine's Day, on love, on the history, or?
Yes, we were hoping people could come up and tell us their successes for their relationships, romantic or family. Some secrets on Valentine. Oh,
How has your researching for your sermon? How has your researching for the sermon affected your life?
oh, thank you for asking that, Avery. Researching Saint Valentine was remarkable and amazing. Not only is he the patron saint of lovers, he's also the patron saint of beekeepers and the mentally ill. So this particularly affects my life deeply. So to know that I got to study him and have his presence in my life as being a patron of so many things was quite endearing.
I had wondered because of with the blind girl, I had wondered if he was like the patron saint of
Yes.
disabled or handicapped.
Specifically epilepsy. He's the patron saint of epilepsy and the mental and beekeepers.
I was out there grabbing some water. My throat was spasming. Claudius, I'd always thought was a fairly enlightened emperor, not Caligula. Yeah, I'm not confusing the two, but Claudius stayed low and invisible to try and avoid Caligula. And worse yet, his mom Livia. What was it that sent or that angered him so about Valentine? Was it the idea of love as composed to you'll marry who the family says you marry?
Excellent question. He actually, when Claudius had him killed, it was in a fit of rage. So it wasn't predicted. It wasn't something, it was in a moment of rage. Because as I said during the lecture, he grew to like Valentine. Even though he was in jail, Claudius grew to like him. But he was about his soldiers and about the war. And he felt like if soldiers were married, they'd be too distracted. Soldiers should be single and focused on the war. So I know that he was beheaded and beaten on the road to Rome, one of the main roads, I forget the name. And it was in a fit of rage. It was a moment that Claudius, I don't know if Claudius was there, but in a moment of rage, he ordered it.
Could also be that he was going through a stage of blues with somebody that he cared for the way it was.
Yes, yes, very true. Excellent question. Thank you. Excellent question. Thank you. So no one's going to tell us their secrets about the relationships with family or romantic?
I am one of those persons who thought that I would tend to avoid, as I viewed
entrapment of, well, of marriage, of romantic love for sure. It actually worked very well for me. I got a physics degree and a math degree at a time when everybody else was either high on drugs, drunk, or the all familiar line that I've so often heard of people saying, I was in college, I was enjoying it, and then life happened, which means somebody became pregnant. Anyway, thank you. So in summary, what I'm saying is love actually did jump on me toward the end of my life. My mind went into a circle of great sorrow to where I was picturing myself jumping off bridges. It involved my second girlfriend, who I felt I'd kept her too long for 4 years and prevented her from marrying and having a family and children, when in truth, she never wanted to give birth. And so luckily she married someone who already had a son. And I think she's very happy. But my mind then nevertheless went kind of berserk. And so I came to this church and found my third girlfriend and then married her. Now she left. Of course, I felt like I'd done everything perfect, but I noticed that my mind revolves often about her and about the 6 years that we were married and 2 years that we lived together, and my parents' dogs and the dog that I rescued with my wife off the street. I constantly mull over those, reviewing mainly times when I didn't do things quite perfectly for the dogs, such as the time that my mom's memorial, my little doggie was with me. It was in wintertime. And so I was at the memorial. I left the dog in the car. And finally, I noticed I went outside with friends and noticed the dog was there, took him out. He was shivering with cold. So my mind revolves around that, which shows that when you, I guess in summary, it shows that I cannot escape the throes of love. And the only reason why I don't have a dog currently in my life is whenever I have to go into the hospital, for example, I don't know who would take care of the dog, which was a problem that I had when I first had what was called spinal stenosis. Anyway, I'm saying that I tried to escape love, and for most of my life I did, but it haunts me and always will. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to say that for me, love, and I have it as a capital L, and it's as broad as it can be. I would say that whether it is a platonic love between friends or a romantic love, passionate love, whatever it is, I think that love as an entity has to be nurtured. I think that we can't take love for granted, or it will wither and die away, just like anything has to be fed and nurtured. And I will say that my husband and I this year, July 14th, will celebrate 50 years of marriage. That's our anniversary. And there have been times in that relationship in which one of us or both of us didn't focus on that love and nurture it. And we saw it wither and wane. I think that you have to, at times, you have to put the other person's needs ahead of yours. I don't think ever in any kind of a healthy relationship do you do that all the time. But I think that you have to, there are times in which you do need to make that other person feel very special and important and back off from what you want and for that person. And I think you have to let the person know. I try to do it daily, but you have to let that person or that relationship know frequently how valuable, how precious, how important that relationship is. And I say this whether it's friends or you know, or in a marriage, that that is really extremely important, to let the other person know that they, how important they are in your life. We all want to hear that. That's mine.
Wow, thank you very much. Wow. Thank you, Tinka. I needed to hear that. Thank you.
Well, I'm not gonna go on about my romantic life because there isn't that much of it at the moment. I do hope to spend some time actually trying to work on that in this coming year as we move along. But doing the same old thing the same way does not nurture anything. She was right on that. One thing I would like to say about St. Valentine's Day is that for centuries, people got married because it was good for the family. They'd say, well, you know, you'll learn to love them, you'll learn to like them. But it's not our priority. Our priority is getting two groups together so that two families will be stronger for being together. Kill a quarrel, raise an alliance. I think one of the most important things about the St. Valentine's Day holiday is to say my aesthetics, my emotions, my view of how things ought to be actually means something in this world. That living a life where you're just a mechanical cog in a wheel, you're a series of relationships, and you should always shut up and listen to the system around you. I think that that's a way to end up being bitterly disappointed, being used and thrown away. And I think whatever I can do in this coming year, both on a personal level, political level, what have you, to feel the most human I can be is probably the good idea.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I think it might be nice to mention now that we are very lucky to celebrate St. Valentine's Day in America. Many places around the world, it is illegal to this day to celebrate St. Valentine's Day. Yes. We have somebody who would like to speak? All right.
Hello. Am I coming through?
Your name?
Yes, this is the president of worship committee, Alec.
Hello. Yep, I'm on the worship committee.
Oh,
Hi,
sure.
I'm Alec. And I just wanted to share a couple comments. Well, for one, I don't know if I know the secrets to relationships to answer your question. I did go through one particularly bad breakup in college, which for a few years, I didn't want to be in any relationship, any romantic relationships at all. And that was nice because I found that I was putting a lot of my own self-worth on my relationship status. And although that is a wonderful and beautiful thing when you are in a good relationship, I was putting a lot of worth on that specific romantic version of love, and having a very maybe preconceived notion on what that was supposed to look like. And I found that I was very happy becoming myself without that. But now I'm in a very happy relationship, as some of you know. And I've found that, or I think I've seen that there's a bit of a taboo in our culture about to talk with your romantic partners about what is bothering you. And especially, I see a lot of people when they ask for advice, often the advice that they get is, well, have you talked to your partner about this? And one of the things that Margaret and I do is that we regularly sit down together and talk about all the things that are bothering us, especially if it's something about our relationship that's bothering us. Because if you wait until it's a big deal, then of course your relationship is going to explode and be terrible. And so there needs to be some way of sort of letting that pressure off gently without needing to resort to ending your relationship. Thanks.
Thank you. And is there anyone else?
This is Pat. Can I talk?
Yes, go ahead, Pat.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to say I lost my husband 3 years ago. His 94th birthday would have been last Thursday. And we were together 44 years. And I was just lucky. I don't think either of us thought about how we had to keep the relationship going. It just did. We were allies, we were partners. We had so much fun together. I was just lucky, I think. I honestly, he was older. He was 14 years older than I was. And at first he said, I wanted kids, and he already had 5 kids and didn't want any more kids. And he was too old. He said, no, we can't, this isn't going to be serious because I'm too old for you. And I said, that nonsense. I was already hooked because we were just such a good match. The main thing we did, we supported each other in everything each other wanted to do. If Ted wanted to attend, we met on the island of Guam, and he moved to Houston for a job, and also because his wife and kids had moved back to Louisiana from Guam, and he missed his kids a whole lot. So we were in Houston, and he wanted to go to a technical school for instrument tech, and I had money. He didn't have money. In our relationship, we never had a fight about money. Never. It just didn't happen. Of course, we both had jobs, and so and we didn't have kids. And at the beginning, I had believed you had to save money out of every paycheck in your life, and because I'd been poor and I didn't like it. So anyway, we never fought about money. Never. We always had money to do what needed to be done. When people in the family needed money, we could loan it. We were always okay. Anyway, so we didn't fight about money, and sex was wonderful. For both of us, it was really good and really happy and fun. We both had a lot of experience. Ted was never jealous, and I wasn't jealous either. We didn't have a sense of ownership of each other's bodies. I thought that was crazy. So we had an open relationship where if you wanted, the deal was, don't embarrass me. If you're going to be with somebody else, then don't ever let me meet them. Keep it private, keep it separate. Anyway, and we both followed that. I don't think we ever, never. It was never an issue of anything about that. So we never fought about money, never fought about sex. I was telling you, Ted wanted to go to the instrumentation, and I had the money, so I paid for it. I wanted to move from Houston to go to graduate school in psychology, and so I applied all over the United States, actually all over the places it didn't snow, and because I'd been cold and I didn't like it. So I got accepted at graduate school at Baton Rouge. So we moved to Baton Rouge, and Ted got another job. And the 3 years there that I was in graduate school, it was really easy. All Ted wanted was to get out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He didn't want to live there permanently. So he was all for me doing it as fast as I could. And I think I held the record at my graduate school for getting through the PhD program, given that I came in without any background in psychology. I just had a college course, and it was amazing. Baton Rouge was such a trip. But we had fun. We had so much fun. I remember he was giving me a hard time that I wasn't I wasn't doing things like setting the table in an elegant way. he was part teasing. But anyway, the next thing that happened, we were having a shrimp boil, and he went and got the shower curtain and put it on the kitchen table. So yeah, we just had fun, I swear. It was always a trial with the kids because his ex-wife told his kids that the reason she left Guam was because of me. And I didn't know Ted then. That was an absolute lie. But of course, they believed their mother. So it was years before we straightened that out. And all four of the five kids are talking to me. I think five of the grandkids are talking to me. So I'm winning mostly. But actually they're being really good to me. But we just supported each other. Toward the end, Ted wanted to go to New York to do a photography class. Unfortunately, he got Alzheimer's and couldn't do it. But I was all for it. I probably, if he continued to express wanting, I'd have gone with him and we'd have made it happen. We always did that. We made each other's lives work. And we had fun. We camped, we took vacations, we went to China, and we had fun. When we were in China, Ted was really old to be on that trip. We were on a group trip, and the Chinese men asked him how he stayed so young. And he said, marry a younger woman, which made everybody laugh. Anyway, yeah, we just had fun. But I understand what everybody's saying about how important it is to communicate. There were times when Ted was not a communicator, and we did a weekend workshop up in Monterey, a really great couple who did couple stuff. And I got to understand Ted's background, which was really painful. His mom was divorced really early, and there was like this terrible moment where his mother and his father were literally fighting over his body, and he was like 3 or something. I mean, it was ugly, and so he didn't want to talk about stuff. And I did, but I was a psychologist, so I couldn't help it. Anyway, thanks for listening. I do think that that was a wonderful relationship, and I'm hoping I'll have more relationships. We'll see what happens, but I was blessed. I was just lucky. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Pat. And in closing, I just would like to put out there that I see Valentine's Day in connection with relationships. So it doesn't have to be, some passionate romantic love. It's just relationships. And that includes a relationship with yourself. So this is a wonderful opportunity. When Valentine's comes, do something good for yourself. Tell, the self-love is important as well. So thank you for being here today, and go now in peace.